Hey everybody, welcome to my channel and thanks for joining me as I follow along with the Junk Journal July for 2024. And this is hosted by Meg Journals in collaboration with Get Messy Art, and I will have a link to the introductory video in the description box so you can find out all the information you need to know there. So today's prompt is light. And I immediately went light bulb. Immediately. So you can see that I printed these out in two different sizes, and I just love the vintage look of these light bulbs. And I went ahead and glued them onto a heavy duty cardstock, and then I just trimmed around and inked them up. And I love the dimension that that heavy duty cardstock gives. And then in that center part where the clear glass would be of a real light bulb, I've added some Wink of Stella, and I just think it gives it just a little bit of a shine, a glimmer. And I'm going to place the light bulbs right about where you see them there on the page. And also what I did was some stamping, and I am not very good at stamping, but uh, but I got the job done, and it's mostly on the right-hand side, and then I've got a bare space there where I'm going to be journaling, and then just a little bit of stamping on the very left corner and on the top there of the left side. So I'm going to go ahead and glue these down, and then I'll be back. All right, so far so good. I'm liking it, and I also pulled out some ephemera that I think I might want to use on the page, and including this label from Tim Holtz that says, "Make today count." And I think that's going to be perfect for some of the sentiments I want to write in my journal. And I'm going to place it here, but I'm going to make a little cluster to go with that. And then I've also pulled out some trims and pieces that I had left over from other projects. I think this is from the bee journal that I made a couple years ago, which I absolutely love. Love my bee journal. I ended up giving that away, but I love that journal. Anyways, so I'm thinking about making this a pocket, and I like making lace pockets. I think that's kind of fun. And so I go ahead and cut this to the size of the fold out there. But as soon as I cut it, I kind of regretted it because I thought it would have been cool to have that lace sticking out a little bit from that fold out, but no worries. And so I'm just uh, distressing the edges there so it's frayed. And I'm going to go ahead and glue that on. So I thought I would take that little piece of trim that I cut off and place it on the opposite side but in a horizontal direction, and maybe use that as a basis for my little cluster there. And I grabbed this other piece of lace and I'm trying to distress it with my fingers, but it's not tearing at all. So I'm like, oh well, and I stick it down there anyway. I'm not gluing anything yet. I'm just trying to get an idea of what I want to do. And sometimes this process takes me a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and fast forward. So I thought I'd get a couple pieces of twine just to loop up and place underneath some of the ephemera. So I'm just going to cut a couple pieces and see how it goes. So I feel like I need to find some more things to add. So I'm going to stop here and I'll be back. So while I was away, I inked all of my little bits of ephemera around the edges. And then I found some more little bits of trim and I've tied that seam binding to the top of the tag there. And I pulled out another little ticket and I'm going to attach these with my Tim Holtz attacher. It ends up being out of staples, so I have to go and change that later on. But for now, I'm just trying to see how far I want it to stick out from that fold out. And also want to see what it looks like on the back when I open that up. And I feel like it's just a little too white for me. And so I know I have another type of, same type of ticket that I have on the bottom. So I'm going to find that ticket and glue it or glue them back to back. And then the little ticket on the top, there's just a one corner that's kind of sticking out. So I'm just going to ink the back of that ticket. And so I'll do all that and I'll be right back. So I thought this little corner needed a butterfly, and this little tan and black butterfly is perfect. It already has the little gem in the center. However, I really wanted some antennas and it didn't have any, so I added those. And so now I'm just going to work on this little cluster and I will fast forward from here. So I thought the top left corner was bare, and so I added this cute little number, and I think it's perfect, and I'm really happy with the way everything's turning out so far. So I start working on the right cluster, and I found this little piece of ephemera, and I thought it needed a little something as well, and so I stamped that top priority. And so I'm just going to continue to work on this cluster and fast forward from here. So I thought the corner of this lace needed a bit more distressing. It was looking a little too boxy for me. So I took my scissors and snipped it a little bit, and then I just pulling those or unraveling that with my fingers. And so far, so good. And then I also put this sticker on some heavy duty cardstock because these are super, super thin. So there's like a little bit of almost a pinkish red in the center of these, which is kind of cool. So I have this little piece of torn up lace, and the color kind of reminds me of the center of that light bulb. And so I want to carry that pinkish red all the way through the pages. So I'm just going to glue it on the edge of the fold out, and then I think I am going to be finished. So let me know in the comments what you think. So these, I probably won't leave them this long. I just leave them that long because I might want to put some kind of danglies on there, and it could be beads or it could be something else. So those are just going to stay there for now, and then this opens up and I can do all my journaling. And I have something in mind, but um, I think I think my thoughts on all the journaling so far, it's tending to go a little towards faith um, uh, thoughts and feelings and stuff like that. So it's kind of private to me or personal. So I'm not including the journaling in some of these places right now. And then on this one, same thing. I want to include some things that I remember in my scripture study. And so I'm going to do that there. That's not to say every single journal entry will be that way, but because these ones are, I'm not going to write that down until after I show everybody. So I like it. I'm happy with it. So yeah, I'd love to know what you think and what you're doing. And so don't forget to like and subscribe and make sure you hit that notification bell so you can join me for the rest of the Journal July. And I'll catch you next time. Bye.